Well, we just got a new update on Myles Garrett that further ties him to Philadelphia while also adding a new competitor for these superstar skills. Plus, while ESPN might have hinted that Milton Williams wants to return, the Commanders, they're rejoicing, but was it the right move? Plus, the real reason the Birds just cut Darius Slay. I'm Thomas Mott, this is a Thomas Mott Show. Well, exactly 7 days from today, NFL free agency will officially begin, and we know the Philadelphia Eagles will be busy. The question is, how quickly and for whom are they going to pull the trigger? Perhaps, though, the news out of Washington over the weekend will spur their spending as the Commanders traded for 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel for a 2025 fifth-round draft pick, which does include paying out Samuel's full $17.5 million salary this season, which is a bold move. It will affect Philadelphia. More on that in a second. First, though, I'm making a push for 90,000 subscribers, giving away this signed Jalyx Hunt jersey. I think I'll announce the winner during our Wednesday live show, so make sure you guys subscribe, drop a like on this video, leave a comment below to go ahead and enter. Now listen, Deebo Samuel to the Commanders, it's a decent move, and I think he adds another weapon to help out Terry McLaurin and the rising sensation that is Jaden Daniels. But let's be clear about something. Samuel hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiving season, wait for it, since 2021. In fact, in the last 3 seasons, he's failed to even get to 900 receiving yards and has just 12 touchdowns during that 3-year span. It feels like adding Samuel right now at this point in his career was similar to when Philadelphia re-signed DeSean Jackson in 2023. The name is fun, the production probably won't be. Plus, add in the fact that Samuel, Scary Terry, and Marshawn Lattimore have basically the same cap hit as Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, and Dallas Goedert combined. And you see why my fear level for the Commanders hasn't really changed heading into this week. Now, the big news that dropped literally today is the Eagles officially releasing veteran cornerback Darius Slay, designating him as a post-June 1st cut in order to save $4.3 million against the cap this offseason. All in all, this move saves around $16 million in total money for the rest of Slay's contract and now gives the Birds about $26 million in spending power over the next 2 weeks. Now, worth noting is that NBC's John Clark did tweet right after, quote, "It's possible that Darius Slay, after being released, could still come back with the Eagles at a lower number. Always possible." Which, if you remember, is exactly what happened last offseason when Slay was released, had to deal with the Ravens, but returned to Philly after a phone call with Big Dom. And while yes, it's 100% possible Slay could test the market, not like what he sees, and come back on a cheap 1-year deal, my guess is, though, it's not going to happen and Philly moves on from the 34-year-old. Which naturally leaves a lot of questions. Like, one, does this mean Isaiah Rodgers is going to re-sign? Honestly, no idea. My guess is he will also test the market first, but could be a top free agent priority. Although if Rodgers and Slay are officially gone, Philadelphia is clearly very high on 22-year-old Kelee Ringo, as pointed out by Eagles DB coach Christian Parker before the Super Bowl a few weeks ago.
Who's maybe a young corner or safety on the roster that fans aren't talking about now, but you get to see him all the time, that you're really excited about, you think has a bright future?
I love our room, but I think 2 guys who really stand out consistently on the scout team and on the day-to-day have been Kelee Ringo and Andre Sam. I think both of them have really bright futures. Both of them are extremely gifted from an athletic perspective. I think they've both grown in their knowledge of the game. And I'm excited to kind of see what steps they're going to take. I think their teammates trust them. They give those guys on scout team. They really take pride in what they do on the scout team.
Cutting Slay obviously had to happen. They were never going to pay the rest of his contract, but I honestly can't thank him enough for everything he's meant to Philly. When he was traded to the Birds back in 2021, the Eagles were desperate to find stability at the cornerback spot. Now, multiple Pro Bowls, Super Bowl trips, and a ring later, Slay leads Philadelphia as one of the greatest cornerbacks in team history, and I cannot thank him enough. I do want to be clear, though. This move was the first domino that had to fall this week. Philadelphia needed a little bit more cap space to hopefully go ahead and make some bigger moves to come in the next couple of days. My best guess is this means they're going to go ahead and for sure re-sign Zack Baun. Like, remember, they can re-sign him at any time before Monday, and I'm betting Howie Roseman was scrambling to make just a little bit more money in order to make sure his star linebacker didn't hit the free agent market this coming Monday. One more thought on Slay, though. It is wild the Birds are so strong in the secondary right now that they feel good enough to let big play Slay go even after what was a very impressive 2024 season. Like, the guy can still play. Honestly, best of luck wherever you go, Slay. Hope you can end up back in Philly on a cheaper deal, but just keep terrorizing wide receivers wherever you go. Drop a like, leave a comment, wishing Big Play Slay best of luck wherever he goes. We'll see if he comes back. That remains to be seen. Oh, and by the way, staying with wide receivers for a second, I thought you might enjoy this Colin Cowherd segment from last week suggesting Philadelphia must move off of A.J. Brown now this offseason.
Yeah, I'm about over chatty wide receivers calling out quarterbacks. Like, let's be honest about this team with Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, and that O-line. You could move off A.J. Brown. He's very, very good.
Oh, no, he's excellent.
No, I love him. I love DK Metcalf. Seattle could move off him. I think.
Wait, Seattle hasn't won anything with Metcalf. This guy is instrumental to winning.
He's very, very good player, but I think wide receiver is Buffalo proved it. I mean, Kansas City proved it.
Buffalo
What
hasn't
did
won
Buffalo
anything.
prove?
KC has Patrick Mahomes. Like, you're willing to move off A.J. Brown right now? Or at
No,
the
I'm
next
saying they have to move off players. Howie Roseman has come out in the last 48 hours and said it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very just be patient with us. They've got to move off a couple of big pieces.
I know, it's insane and obviously never going to happen, but always funny to hear talking media heads talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, technically, there has been a quiet push from Patriot fans to trade for Brown this offseason for the price of, wait for it, Kendrick Bourne and 2 second-round draft picks, which makes sense if you're an absolute idiot and think the guy who was just extremely numbed, apparently, to the success of winning a Super Bowl 3 weeks ago and just wants to grind and be great is going to want to play for one of the worst rosters in the league. But the idea of Philadelphia would even consider trading number 11 following what has been a superstar emergence since being traded to Philadelphia a couple of years back is utterly ridiculous, and again, only mentioned on my show for a laugh on a Monday. I think the big news from this weekend came via a joint Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler ESPN Plus article, which dropped some new Myles Garrett nuggets, including that, quote, if the Browns do ever get serious about trading Garrett, I'd expect Buffalo and Philadelphia to be the 2 most aggressive pursuers, which first off did again suggest the fact that Myles Garrett and Philadelphia being tied together is a very legitimate claim running around the National Football League right now, but B, also saying that the Buffalo Bills are now in on Myles Garrett. I guess that means the Commanders are officially out? I don't know, I guess we'll wait and see. Still, Buffalo, I think would be a nice landing spot for Myles Garrett. They clearly need to do something to get over the hump that is Kansas City, and Garrett would definitely help them be a much improved defensive front. Problem is, though, if you're the Browns, do you want to trade Myles Garrett inside the AFC? I think the benefit of moving him to a team you only play once every 4 years and never face in any potential AFC playoff game, aka the Eagles, makes a lot more sense. But as we always know, the asking price and what the Browns can actually get for Garrett is really the determining factor. It's worth noting that Myles Garrett can be traded technically at any time. It could happen right now as you're watching this video. He's not a free agent signing you have to wait till next week to go ahead and pounce on. Keep hitting the notification bell below if you want to be the first to know, because myself and Josh Davis, we go live for every single Eagles move of the next couple of weeks. I also want to at least point out this tweet from Vin the Insider, who said, per source, Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett wants nothing more than to be a Philadelphia Eagle next season. Now, if you're asking who is Vin the Insider, well, he is one of these NFL social media influencers who happens to have a pretty decent track record of announcing some major Philadelphia trades throughout his career. Is he right on this one? Honestly, no idea, but come on, all we have is rumors right now regarding Myles Garrett, and we might as well follow them, see where they lead. Now, the other drop that we got from that ESPN article was Jeremy Fowler regarding Milton Williams, saying that, quote, the Panthers might be one of the teams willing to spend big to lure defensive tackle Milton Williams away from the Super Bowl champion Eagles, which again does make sense because Carolina has a ton of money to spend in free agency. Milton Williams wants a bag, and so you do the dots connecting them together, and it makes some sense. Although I do wonder if his wording on lure away from Philadelphia is a hint that he actually is trying to stay with the Eagles. There's been a theory floating around Eagle Nation that the Birds are trying to keep one of either Sweat or Williams this offseason. And one thing we must remember with all the free agent talk is how big of a draw playing in Philadelphia is currently right now. This isn't some loser organization that's going to struggle to maybe be a wildcard team. I don't think Carolina will even be that next year, but you get my point. This is one of the best, most successful franchises in the past 20 years and easily the best franchise going in the NFC right now. Even a guy like Milton Williams, who has not gotten a big bag yet throughout his entire career, might realize that winning is the most important thing, and maybe will take a team-friendly deal to stay with the Eagles. Although if I had to bet money on it, my guess is Milton and Josh Sweat are going to be gone, but again, we're speculating here and going off of the ESPN report, so if he wants to play with a winner, then staying in Philadelphia is going to be his best choice. I do think either way, Philadelphia's defensive line, regardless of Sweat or Milton, is going to be just fine. Obviously, the emergence of the 2 young edge rushers and Jalyx Hunt and Nolan Smith is a massive plus, but Moro Ojomo's 2024 campaign was one of the most underrated and impressive I've seen from a second-year late-round draft pick in a very long time. If Milton leaves, Ojomo is going to be the next man up, and I'm pretty pumped for him. Now, I do want to mention 2 other potentially less talked about names to keep an eye on this week heading into free agency, with one being 34-year-old Khalil Mack, who is set to enter the free agent market. Now, he only had 6 sacks in LA this season, but had 17 2 years ago. My guess is he probably takes one final big contract. There's been rumors of the Bears or the Bucks in need of edge rusher help, but if BG is officially going to retire, again, we don't know as of yet, Mack could be the ultimate Chris Long type rotational edge if he wants to play for a winner, and obviously if the price is right. And the same goes for Raiders former second-round tight end Michael Mayer, who reportedly is now on the trade block following a very underwhelming season, and the Raiders obviously having Brock Bowers. Now, Philadelphia has 2 tight ends, teams, mainly Dallas Goedert, who's entering the final year of his deal, and so we're expecting a tight end either draft or free agent move. But Meyer might make some sense. He was widely considered one of the top tight ends coming out of the draft, but really hasn't panned out. And Howie Roseman loves to go for guys who were high draft picks but never really panned out and turn them into superstars on Philadelphia. I mean, he also is still in a rookie contract, and the Raiders are in need of edge rusher help, so anyone up for a Bryce Huff, Michael Mayer straight up swap? Now, moving on to more realistic things, and there's a brand new report that NFC East fans are going to be definitely interested in out of the NFL Combine, stating that the Giants are sniffing around Aaron Rodgers as a possible starting quarterback this season, along with drafting somebody early in April's draft to go ahead and build the future in Big Blue. Now, I personally have not really been on the Aaron Rodgers stinks hype train that has emerged the past couple of seasons, but I don't really see how he makes the Giants that much better. Plus, there's the news that Davante Adams has to go wherever he goes. Not a big fan of that either if I'm the Giants, and so I'll have to wait and see what happens with Aaron Rodgers. He's obviously going to play somewhere. Will he make the Giants that much better than they were in 2024? I think so, but 7 wins, maybe 8 wins with a healthy Aaron Rodgers? Give me your thoughts down below. Now, as usual, this week is going to be a lot of speculation. My guess is we're going to hear from Zack Baun, maybe get him signed the next couple of days. I'm hoping that happens, but there's no guarantee. And obviously, the Myles Garrett trade is going to continue to be at the forefront of every single Eagle fan's mind. We'll cover it all here on the channel. I'm going to do only the real reports. It's what we do here on the channel. If something were to actually happen, we go live first. We do that every single time Philadelphia does something big. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, go and get a thumbs up, and comment down below because the Jalyx Hunt jersey giveaway will officially be happening during Wednesday's live stream. Thomas Mott entering the final week before the new league year. It's getting exciting. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.